DBU. 3 letters that mean a lot to LSU fans. DBU. 3 letters that mean a lot to college football. Who is the real DBU? That's been LSU. But will it be that way in 2022? With Eli Ricks, potentially transferring. Ohio State and USC look like to be his likeliest destinations if he were to transfer. And then in the same class, you got Cordell Flott most likely coming out to the NFL after an amazing season. One of the highest graded coverage corners in college football. After a scandalous 2020, he really did a 180 in 2021, which it's a lot of great film to show that you can change your game and evolve like that quick. So many scouts are going to be all over Cordell, especially given his versatility. And then you're also losing, so you got Stingley, Flott, and Ricks all potentially gone for LSU heading into 2022. Traditionally at LSU, there's been those guys who can bridge the gap between certain classes of DBU. Tre'Davious White stayed until he was a senior, and he did that to kind of bring the new guys in. And it was huge for LSU. Guys like Dwayne Thomas were there at the time. And, DBU, it's never really had a lull since the Tyrann Mathieu era, since the Patrick Peterson era. Since 2010, 2011, LSU haven't really had a barren year with DBs, with getting those top guys in. 2019, look at that team. It had Grant Delpit, Jacoby Stevens, and then you got Derek Stingley Jr. on one side. Then you got, freaking Christian Fulton, who was a 5-star himself. So you had just 1-star, 5-star, high-profile guy after another. Heading into 2022 without Derek Stingley may have scared some LSU fans. Just the prospects of entering into that season without the consistent Stingley. But when you had Eli Ricks and Cordell Flott coming back next year, you thought, it seemed like, wow, okay, we're going to be stocked. We're still going to have Eli, still have Cordell Flott. Then we got guys like Dwight McLaughlin who are going to be there. We're going to be set. We're going to be fine. And then the freshmen, like Sage Ryan coming in, even though he's a nickelback / safety, he's still so versatile. He could play probably every position in the secondary. Major Burns is a young safety who's looking like he's really good. Jay Ward is probably going to come back another year. So 2022 was looking great with Eli Ricks coming back and Cordell Flott not heading to the NFL. But now, with Flott heading to the NFL, 99% chance. Ricks, I'd say 90% chance he transfers. And of course, Stingley going to the NFL, most 99.9% chance. Who are the guys to bridge LSU's gap? Who are going to be the guys? I know there's going to be a lot of worries with DBU's future, but I will say this. Not only do we have confirmation reports from Matt Moscana today from 104.5 ESPN on his show After Further Review said Corey Raymond and DBU Miyagi, Corey Raymond, and offensive line coach Brad Davis will both be retained by LSU and extended. Fantastic news. We cannot lose Corey Raymond. So Corey Raymond coming back to LSU, staying where, coming back. He's staying put. But what is intriguing to me is who is going to be those guys to step up in 2022 without Stingley and Ricks. Well, you got McLaughlin. Dwight McLaughlin has had invaluable playing time over, the end of 2020 And coming into 2021 where he wasn't expected. I mean, McLaughlin just barely came back from his own injury. He had a fall camp injury, and he just barely came back healthy for the Central Michigan game, I think it was. And boom, now you're a starter, buddy. Dwight McLaughlin suddenly had to become a starter when he was not prepared mentally, probably, to be one. Well, he came in as a starter, and he was mentally prepared. Not only that, he had a pick six versus Florida that completely changed that game for LSU. It was a huge play in that game. McLaughlin he's allowed a few touchdowns here and there. I think he's allowed 4 or 5 on the season. But at the same time, he's been the most targeted guy. He's had his ups and downs, but every DB does as they learn their trade. And I think these reps have been invaluable for Dwight. He had a forced fumble against Alabama, some great sideline tackles with solo stops on an island. I think you see that Dwight McLaughlin, Nudie, could be that number one guy coming into next year. And is Nudie a pillar? Is he someone who's a pillar to launch 2022 DBU? He could just be. I mean, he already has a pick six to his name. Sage Ryan, could he convert to corner? That's an interesting topic of discussion. He's already a nickel, plays great safety. Could he move to corner? What about 2021 freshman Demarius McGee out of Florida? We have only seen him play on special teams. We're not really sure too much what he can bring. I think he had 3 interceptions in his senior year. There's a lot of, like, Raydarius Jones, 2019 veteran. Could Raydarius Jones, step up next year if he's still with the team? Heading into, I think, his senior year at this point. Could he step up and be that senior DBU leader? I mean, I've liked what I've seen from Raydarius Jones in spots. He still has a, dumb penalty flag in him, but, he plays hard, and I like seeing him. He's had a few pass breakups this year. Coming in the 2022 class, there's a lot of talk of offensive line, of course, quarterback with Walker Howard, defensive line with Quincy Wiggins, but who's going to be those 2022 freshman corners who could come in and step up? Azaria Thomas, he decommitted from Florida, so potentially he could be, liking that Corey Raymond is being retained by LSU, and he might be switching over to LSU. Who knows? LaTerrence Welch, he's had some injury issues, but I feel like LaTerrence Welch is a fantastically talented specimen out there at corner. He's very much in the shutdown breed, LaTerrence Welch. I really love what I've seen from him and his game tape. He's another guy to definitely keep your eye on because he's a firm, solid LSU commit. LT Welch. He's been chased after by a lot of different schools. 4-star. He's not the 5-star perennial guy that LSU always hangs their head on every class, but he's close. And same with Azaria Thomas. They're both about as close as you can get to 5 stars without being 5 stars. Although I've got a lot of people who will argue me with LaTerrence Welch, but I still like what I see from him. And there's a lot of just random extra walk-on guys at corner who've come in. Ralph Walker is another one of them. Darren Evans, is he going to ever really step up? He's played a lot of reps, the former Nickel State guy, and I don't know about that. I don't know really what I've liked seeing from Darren Evans. There's a few times he's had some good plays, but on all in all, I'm not too sure about him out there. I don't know if he really... I just can't say that he's a DBU caliber corner at this point. I'm also liking what I see in, gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, Pig Cage. Pig Cage, nickelback. Usually plays nickel, but could Pig Cage walk on? Could he become a top corner here at LSU? Could he be developed into a shutdown corner at LSU? He has the skills. He played at Rummel alongside, Jamar Chase, Coy Moore. He understands what it's like to guard those tough receivers. He's had a few reps. He started the Alabama game. They threw a pass on him, had a completion on him. But, Pig Cage has actually had some pretty good quality reps, and he was phenomenal in fall practice, I got to say. So, there's just these random options, a lot of undeveloped pieces, but where they will fall is kind of up in the air. I think what this 2022 class really needs is to find that Denver Harris. Get somebody like Denver Harris in here, because you get that 5-star corner. You shut up all of the DBU is ending type of sky is falling type of stuff with Eli leaving, Derek Stingley Jr. potentially going to the draft, and Cordell Flott. LSU are losing a lot of top guys all in one draft. It would be the first time in a while that the Tigers have lost this many top corners in a single draft. If you look at even 2019, we lost Grant Delpit, but at corner, we only lost Christian Fulton. So, it's tough. It's tough to see all three of those guys go out the door, especially Eli. We already knew Derek was going. We were pretty sure that, Cordell Flott was going to be declaring for the NFL draft, but to see us lose Eli Ricks, it hurts, and it's going to hurt for a while. I mean, I can't even get a confirmation or an answer from his family for the first time since I've known them. It's obviously hitting them hard. They're obviously probably getting a lot of messages and calls, and it's all becoming real for them, and it's crazy where this will lead. But DBU, I think, is in great hands with Corey Raymond staying. I think we've got some pieces to work with, and definitely there's a hole at cornerback. There's definitely a hole there. Can Dwight McLaughlin be that standalone superstar corner? He's shown he has the flashes to do it. And he's played some significant reps this year to prepare him for that eventuality. Is Dwight McLaughlin next year's Stingley? Next year's Ricks? I mean, we're just going to have to see, but all that matters is that LSU, retain LaTerrence Welch, try and go get A.Z. Thomas, and finish off this 2022 class with a strong DBU group, because right now I'm not seeing it. Jacoby Matthews is out there at safety. We still have holes at safety as well. We need to reinforce at safety, but corner, after what I've just told you, losing Stingley, Flott, and Ricks all in one potential draft/transfer portal cycle, DBU's got to get to work.